Okay, we're gonna try and live with Hannah, Hannah Rose. So I'm gonna try and wait for her to come back on. See if I can get her to come back. Let her know that we're live. Yeah. So we're gonna try and see. Oh, she knew. Okay. Let me try and request you, Hannah. See if that works. We're having technical difficulties, my friends. Yay, Zach, you're back.
Oh my
There we
goodness.
go. Oh my gosh.
Like, no.
Yeah, I was kind of sad. I was like, oh, we just got into it.
I know. Okay, good thing. I'm not going to even touch my phone at all. I don't know if it was me or not, but even if it was, I'm like, I'm not going to even risk it.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's me because I'm in my car.
Oh, what show are you going to see?
I'm going to see the Martial Law Band.
Fun.
Yeah, so
That's going to be so fun.
yeah, I got their shirt. I got their new shirt. So
Cool.
I'm excited to wear it at their show. So
That's smart.
I
love it.
Yeah, I never get to wear like people's shirts to their shows. So
yeah, everybody would love that.
Yeah.
If I had a shirt out and somebody wore it to my show, I would feel so pumped.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a thing, like you even, with local artists and stuff, it's fun because you can wear it multiple times, whereas like a regular, like, a bigger artist, you're like wearing it once a year, maybe, you know? Like, so,
for real.
So anyway, so to kind of answer your question, or to your comment, I mean, it is not really difficult. I'll just ask you a bunch of questions about your music. I'm not going to go in personal or anything. So, it'll just be music. You can go as deep as you want, but I just want to have fun. So, I don't really I have no expectation. Like every interview is totally different. So, so just have fun. Don't need to worry about it. There's no reason.
I see Mr. Nick is on here. It's so fun to see the people join. Am I allowed to say hello when they come on, or is that going to be annoying to you?
No. You can say hello, of course. So
amazing.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. So I want to know kind of where you started. Like, has music always been a thing in your life, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So my dad was a singer.
Wow.
And
okay.
He played guitar all the time around the house, and my family just was so musical. My mom actually drums. My older sister drummed and played the bass guitar. My little sister sings and plays guitar. So we were extremely musical, and I fell in love with singing from a really, really young age. And then at about 6 years old, I started performing on stage and have been doing it ever since. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been really fun, and I feel extra old because I've been doing it for so long, but it's amazing.
That's awesome. So when did you first pick up your first instrument?
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So I was 12 years old, and I taught myself how to play piano. Because I have a pretty strong ear. So I'm actually sitting at my piano right now, and this is the piano I taught myself on. So it's really fun to do the interview here, but it's my great grandma Rose's piano, and that's who I'm named after. And
there you go.
So it's a really cool familial thing. Yeah. And I just found out actually the other day that my grandma was taught on this piano as well. So it's really special.
Amazing.
But basically with the piano, I would just kind of play a couple keys and be like, this sounds good or this doesn't. And then just kind of taught myself by ear, and then eventually would learn oh, that sounds good because it's a C chord or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing that she was also a musician and also played piano. That's so cool. On the same thing. That's amazing.
I know.
So cool.
I think that's what's the most wild is my Nana is thriving. She's 90 years old almost. And the fact that she learned on this piano is very humbling, the fact that
Yeah,
this piano's been here a very long time.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think
Really
I would
cool.
imagine it would be very humbling too. Oh my gosh. That would
Oh
be so
yeah.
great. I would kill to have my
Yeah, so
grandma's
then
piano.
oh, it's really special. But after I taught myself, I really started diving into songwriting and just like took off with that. And then to expand even more, when I was about 15, my dad started teaching me guitar. I
Okay.
haven't I haven't taken the full plunge and learned it like super super well yet. I
Yeah.
have like enough chords under my belt to kind of like get me a change of scenery when writing, because writing's my main focus and like
Yeah.
my number one love. And then I would say like singing and then piano and then guitar if we were to like order them. But yeah, it's fun to be able to have an instrument to kind of like get out loud what your brain is singing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a tool, right? It's something that you can use to be able to enhance
Oh,
whatever is happening, you know. And I think if
totally.
you're a musician, you
Totally.
kind of know that, like, oh, I need to get this out, you know. And so like having a piano or a guitar is usually the best way to go about it, because you can just like figure it out, you know. I don't know.
That's why guitar isn't good for me though, because I don't know enough chords to where I get frustrated. I'm like, I can't find what I'm trying to play. So I'll usually just run to my piano after and be like, thank you. Because I can't play like super intense chords or anything. So I'm like, oh, I get frustrated on guitar, but I'm trying to be better and just like give myself a challenge. I just haven't mustered up to the full courage yet.
Yeah. I feel that. I was guitar. Well, I started out on drums. Well, way back I started on flute, but
amazing.
I started out on drums. Yeah, and then I moved to guitar, and then piano. So like,
amazing.
Piano is like however,
that's so cool.
I love the piano, and I could listen to it all day long. But playing it is a whole different issue. Like,
It is, and I'm not even like. Right. I'm not even like classically trained. Like I taught myself. So even then I'm like, I need to just spend a summer or even this winter even and just like really dive into the instrument side of things, because I've just always focused on the singing and the songwriting side. And I think honestly my songwriting would just go next level if I did implement more, you know, knowledge with the instruments.
Yeah. It might help with the melodies and things like that, for sure. Yeah.
Luckily, see, that's the opposite side, because I was so pigeonholed to a short amount of chords. My melodies are actually like, they take off because I understand that the chords feel boring. And so I used to just play the basic chords and then just have to like go crazy melodies over to make sure I kept attention.
That's
so it kind of worked in my favor, because now melody kind of rules in my songwriting process, which is cool.
Are you lyrics first or melody first?
It truly depends. Sometimes it's both at the same time. Like,
wow.
I think because I've been doing it for so long, I'll have like a word pop in and then a melody and a sentence will go along with it right after. Or if it's like a concept where I feel like it's a strong title, I can go lyrically first, but I like to kind of have the instruments to go alongside it. And then now that I've started taking the dive and doing production, you can play loops and then you kind of like start with the music in production sometimes. So it depends. It really does depend. And because I write with other people, I kind of like to implement some of their like ways of doing things. And so I think I'm ever changing, and it's really like a fluid thing. It just kind of depends on the song and what the vibe is in the room, really.
Well, and you know, that's the great thing. Excuse me. That's a great thing about. It's terrible. I've had a really long day at work, and so I'm just like, bleh. It's one of those like Red Bull days, you know, where like you just can't get, even though you slept a lot, you just can't catch up. I don't know. It's
I
terrible.
feel that.
It's not you, I promise.
Oh, I
But
know. I'm too bubbly for that, I think.
I am too, but today's just been a crazy day.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know. You just have one of those days where it's
Aw,
just nuts, you know. But
I
yeah,
feel
like
that.
I love songwriting so much. I think that it's awesome that you don't
Mhm.
pigeonhole yourself and that you're able to be that fluid and be that like step out of your box. But I
Yeah.
mean, you're surrounded in some pretty amazing musicians too that like also are that way.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
feel like and I
Yeah.
personally don't know your parents, but I do know a couple of your friends, and like it's amazing that like you're able to like. Did you learn
Yeah.
looping from somebody else, or did you loop that, or did you figure that out on your own?
I figured it out on my own, which is cool. I think, so I was actually signed when I was 16 to like a label when I was young. So I went through the
Wow.
whole like recording, marketing, releasing, touring side of things when I was really young. And because I was so involved in the production, I had an amazing producer who really did the man work, but like I was there while he was
Yeah.
doing it. And so I think it kind of clicked with my brain when I took it on as, producing my own stuff
Yeah.
because visually I understood it. And I understood the grid, if you will, of like
Yeah.
the DAW program, which I use Logic. So it didn't feel like this complete foreign thing. It really like made sense to me intellectually. And then it was like cool, especially with the MIDI, you could kind of like create any type of sound with a keyboard, really. Like you
Yeah.
could play guitar on a keyboard and bass
Yeah.
on a keyboard. So because I'm stronger at piano, it really helps in that realm as well. So it really has been cool to kind of take that on. But
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate as to having it click really quickly. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, I can honestly say that it's hard for me to get it. Like I gave up on trying to do production.
Yeah.
I let somebody else do it. I'm like,
Oh,
I will pay somebody else.
yeah. And that's the thing. You have to really you have to pick your battles, if you will, because creative
Yeah.
energy is still being expended when you're producing. So
Yeah.
it really is like, okay, do you want to use your energy to write a song? Do you want to use it to play your instrument? Do you want to use it on the production side? Because
Yeah.
sometimes, it's exhausting to produce because you're there for 8 hours and it's like extremely
Yeah.
tiring, really.
Yeah.
And
Gosh.
so I understand when people want to pay producers or other people to play instruments because sometimes it takes too much of your own creative energy that you want to use elsewhere.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it. I've never thought
Yeah.
of it that way, honestly.
Yeah. And
Um,
I've also come to
yeah.
terms with like I'm not a master, right? I'm not a master at production. I would consider myself more on the master side of like singing and songwriting.
Yeah.
And so I have zero problem taking a song to a master producer, somebody who spent the same amount of years that I have on singing on producing because they're just
Yeah.
going to be able to do it so much better and differently than I will, you know?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. And I mean that's kind of my thought is that like that's not my like my forte, you know? Like
Yeah.
I leave that to somebody who has that ear, who has that knowledge and it's I think that is true. Like you just have to like save your energy and creativity and all of that for what you can do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean that's a great way to look at it too because I just feel like that's totally true in how I function too. Like I'm just like you I Dylan's mine and I'm like you do it Dylan, like be my guest. You know?
Right. Is Dylan your producer guy?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's amazing. Do
Yeah.
you have stuff out?
I do. Yeah. I have 3
I
songs out.
I didn't know that. I'm gonna go look
Yeah.
them up after. I had no clue.
Yeah, I can send them to you.
Yes, please
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, so I have 3 songs and then I for the first time in 20 years or something, I was like on stage for a little while and like when I was in my
Amazing.
early 20s. And then for the first time I just got on stage in July and sang a song that I
Oh,
wrote. Yeah.
that's
So,
so exciting.
yeah. And the
That's
person that was
amazing.
the only reason why I did it was because the person that I wrote it about was in the audience.
And you're like,
and
I gotta do this.
and I was like, all right. And the person that wrote it with me, she's the singer, because I don't normally sing.
Okay.
I have really bad asthma, and so I can't, like, carrying a note is hard for me these days.
Yeah, I feel that's a bummer.
So yeah. But I was just like, I've gotta, like, there's not going to be this opportunity again, you know?
Yeah.
So
Good for you.
I just got up and did it. Yeah. And it was, I'll send you the video. You can tell me what you think. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but it was kind of nerve wracking, but at the same time kind of exhilarating, because I forgot how much fun it was.
Yeah. You know? And I like that you took the leap and you like jumped off the cliff and just kind of like ruled out your fear, and then you were like probably really happy you did it. So yeah. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm not a risk taker, so
risk taking is it's really hard, but it really is worth it. It makes life a lot more exciting.
Yeah, it I mean, just in writing that song, and actually I ended up eventually telling the person the song was about them, and it was hard. It was like, it was just a difficult. And they were like, oh, wait, I think I've heard that. And I was like, yeah, it's the song I sang at the show that you were at. Like, you know, so it was like, it was kind of hard, but at the same time, like, you know, fun to just.
You did it like a double risk, a performance and a telling.
Well,
songwriting is very vulnerable. So yes,
and
good
that's
for
what
you.
Music is. It's totally you have to be vulnerable.
You absolutely do.
Oh, that's the hard part.
It is, you know, it really is. Vulnerability is a very scary thing, and it because you really are just like, this is me, and if you don't like it, you're really not liking a part of me, and that will hurt. But when the people do receive the song or the topic or whatever it may be, it's so much more fulfilling, and you feel like, okay, I'm doing this for a reason, even if one person doesn't like the song. If 20 people do, like, I can totally forget about that one person and like continue forward. And honestly, like, songwriting for me has just been a way of healing and a way of like having a diary, if you will. Like, I feel like I can listen to a song and be like, I remember exactly what I was going through. Or if I'm like, you know, sad or angry and I write a song, I'm like, you know, I'm not that sad or I'm not that angry now anymore, just because I've been able to write about it. So
yeah, I love that. Do you ever have like a this is a two-part question. So do you ever have a moment where you're just like that song, you can like remember like the story behind it too, and like where it came from, and like that moment of just like sitting down and being like, this is going to be my voice in this situation? And are those like, do those times ever come up for you?
Are you saying for when I have written a song? I remember. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I even will find I'll find like my 15-year-old songs, and I'll remember where I was, and you know, you just want to like go hug your younger self sometimes, where you're like, oh honey, you're going through a tough time, but like, I promise it's okay. And like, but I definitely do. I'm like, a lot of it, you know, like in the past was relationally, so you're thinking like, oh, I remember this boyfriend did that, and like, I remember it made me feel this. So yeah, the story really does kind of like attach itself to the song. I think the really beautiful part is about songwriting is people can attach their own stories to the same song too. So I think that's really a beautiful thing, and why me kind of being, you know, a risk taker or courageous and putting my heart on the table is a lot of people will be able to relate and tie it to something that they might need, you know, some clarity on, or something to make them feel better about a certain situation, you know?
And how does that make you feel, like being that, you know, being able to connect with people like that? Like, what is,
it's my favorite. It's my favorite. Because I don't know, music is like so healing for me personally. And even if I, you know, if I stay at the level I'm at now, I feel 100% fulfilled, 100% content, because I really am doing what I love full time, and I'm living in my passion. And regardless of status within that, you know, those ranks, I feel so extremely thankful, because not everybody can do this, you know? So that alone. And then on the flip side, like sharing my songs and having people, be able to relate to it on their own makes me just like happy, because sometimes
Yeah.
people just need that. And like I
Yeah.
think music's just extremely connecting and extremely healing, and it not
Mhm.
even just healing but like fun, you know. It can
Yeah.
make people happy and forget about their problems, and then when they do have problems you can find a song to identify with to help those. Like it really is an extremely powerful tool, and I'm just extremely blessed and thankful that I got that gift to be
Yeah.
able to use, because not everybody has that either. So I'm just
Yeah.
very thankful, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does your family feel about you kind of following in their footsteps in that way?
Yeah. Oh, they love it. They're so
Yeah.
supportive. Yeah, absolutely. I think again, I just feel really fortunate because not everybody has a supportive family, you know, and not
Yeah.
everybody has a family who lets them chase their dreams wholeheartedly. And
Yeah.
I've been extremely fortunate to be able to do that and to have a family who 100% supports me and believes in me. I think that's the other thing is like they believe I can do it. They're not just like, okay, go. They're like, no, she
Yeah.
can, you know, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's a difference in itself as well. So I'm very fortunate.
Yeah,
Hmm.
amazing. I think that's so great because I think that probably helps you be more confident in it too and
Oh, yeah.
be like I can do this and this is who I am, you
Oh,
know.
yeah. I mean, I have a funny story from when I was little if you want to hear it.
For sure. Bring it.
Okay. So I've always been like a very like performer type person. And
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I used to put like living room shows on for my family. I absolutely loved it. I'd be like, look at my dances, look at my
Yeah.
songs, and this is like a weekly basis. And then
Oh
the
my gosh.
the like business side of me still came out as a 5-year-old because I started charging my family to come watch my living room shows. And then my mom, I don't
What?
remember this, but this is my mom's verbiage, is like, I think I started with like a quarter or something. And
Yeah.
then I realized they paid it. So like next show was like 50 cents. And then I worked it all the way up to $1. And then my mom was like, Hannah Rose, that is enough. You cannot charge your family any longer. Like, this is too much. So I feel
That
like
is the best story I've
I
heard.
I just think it's so telling to how I like navigate the music industry currently. I'm like,
Oh my
I would
god.
love to sing for you, but also like let me show you my business side as well.
Yeah. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
love that so much. Like
Thank you.
that is my favorite story. Like
Oh, I'm
that's great.
honored.
Jeez. Like I have never okay, so I did that too. Like
Oh
I
my
was a
gosh.
dancer when I was little
Oh my
before
gosh,
I found
amazing.
instruments. And so yeah, I was a dancer all the way until I was 18 and then I was a musician from
Amazing.
15 on
I
or
love
9
that.
on. But yeah, so like I used to dance all the time, but I never
Yes.
charged anybody. I wish I would
I
have thought
can't
of that.
believe. I really like I I cannot believe I did that, to be honest with you. But I mean, it is what it is at this point. I can't really go back and take it
Yeah,
back.
I mean
So
that's fantastic to do that at 40. You're like, I'm not playing until I get
you're
25
like,
cents.
I wrote this song from scratch, and you guys really have to see the value in that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh my god, that's so fantastic. Oh
Yes.
my god. I hope that when you perform you tell people that because
Oh,
that's the
okay, I
best
will.
story ever.
Okay, that's good to know. I definitely will then.
Oh my gosh. People love to laugh. Why not? You know,
Oh,
like they
absolutely.
should. Uh,
Absolutely.
so what about the first song you ever wrote?
Oh, okay. I have a story for that too.
Okay.
It was for my little sister's birthday. So I
Okay.
have two sisters. I have an older sister and a younger sister.
Okay.
And it was her third birthday. So I was probably like 7 or like 6 or 7 at the time. I could even sing you a little part because I
Oh,
remember part of it.
please.
But we shared
Yes.
a room, and like I was just like so pumped to like sing the song to her, but probably for the birthday party in general.
Yeah.
Just like the performer side of me is like, all the family's gonna be here. I'm gonna perform this song for my
Yeah.
sister's birthday. So I was trying to think. I think part of it is like, her name's Nikki. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
see Nicole walking down the path. I say hello to Nikki. She says hello back. And then it's like goes into the day unfolding and us brushing our teeth eventually even. So yeah, that was the first song I ever wrote.
Amazing. I love that. Like see, but that's so innocent. You're just
It
like, I'm
is.
just gonna write a song about my sister.
Yeah. Yeah. I can totally remember one song. I literally don't remember anything else other than I talked about the mall in it. And I like, now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I like put that in a song. That's so not great, but
It's age appropriate when
it
you're
is.
young,
You're
you
so
know?
right. You're
Like,
so
what else
right.
do you do?
You're right. Oh my gosh, but yeah, that's funny.
That's great. Okay, so I want you to kind of break down for us Tidal Wave and how you came up with that. Because I love that song so much, and I want to kind of hear the backstory to it and like how you came up with it. Because the concept is awesome. Like,
thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, I love that. That song holds such a special place in my heart. And being the first, because I did have, you know, past music out and that I took down, and to have this be kind of like the statement and have it be so stripped down and like just a guitar is really telling, as like, because sorry, backstory, but I actually lived in Nashville for 3 years, and I was a country singer for 6 years. So I did country music a really long time. And so
how old are you?
I'm 26.
So were you with the label until you were 20 and then you moved to Nashville?
I was with my label until I was about 19, 20-ish. Yeah. And then I did a country competition called Nash Next. And then I placed third in the country, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I went on
tour.
Thank you. I went on tour with Cassidy Pope and Ray Lynn. And that was really, I know, it's a whole other side of me that I love.
Dude, Cassidy Pope is amazing.
She's so good. And she's so nice. She's so nice. Oh. She's like one of the coolest girls I've met in the country realm. But yeah, so I did country for so long, and I pursued that in Nashville. And then I just like kind of with my label thing, like had just this check in my heart of like, I don't feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I was like, so bummed, because I was actually ready to release a song called Black Lace that was gonna be like full-blown country, and I ended up being like full production, right? I'm like getting the final mixes back, and I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be doing country. And it was so humbling and disappointing at the same time, because I'd worked so long to, you know, and I put money into it and time into it to not have it feel right. But I'm really like, I really listen to my gut a lot. So I'm like, if something doesn't feel right, it's for a reason. And for me to have put that song out and then now I'm like full blown pop, like that just wouldn't have made sense anyway, like if I'm like looking back. So I'm happy I didn't, but it really is tough. So coming out of like writing strictly country, Tidal Wave was written with a guy named Brandon Yeager, who is Nashville based, and he's an amazing producer, an amazing songwriter. Everyone should go check him out. And I remember that day just like felt really special, like the whole day with that song. So mainly like with our writing. So he lived in a really cool old warehouse apartment thing. So even walking into his place, I'm like, ooh, the vibes are cool here. And I like get into his house and I'm like, your place is dope. Like the vibes were there. And he hit me with the no, I don't think he had the title yet, but he had the melody. And I was like, ooh, that's really cool. Let's like work with that. And to be honest, Kara, I was like, I try and look back as to like how the song fully unfolded. And I am being so honest when I feel like it was just such an in the moment thing. I cannot tell you like what we started on, what lyrics came first. We started the verse and I just like started singing this melody and it stuck, and then just words started coming out, and like it just like wrote itself really. Like I feel like we were just kind of these like vessels, if you will. Like he had the guitar and I was just singing, and it was just like meshing. We tracked it that day. I was actually sick that day. We tracked it, and those are the vocals I used on the release. Wow. So I didn't even retrack the vocals. Those are like demo vocals. It was just like that special of a day.
Yeah.
Oh, I just hit my piano.
So it's all just like one. It was all just in one day.
All one day.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
I know. Yeah. So we tracked it, and then I mean his guitar part alone, like da, 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 da,
Yeah.
is like beautiful. And then I had a guy out here, his name's Alex Straley, retrack the guitar just because it was still a demo. So
Yeah.
but same progression and everything. And then I production wise just added some layers, like there's like some pads in there and like, you know, like little monster voices, things like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it kind of, see, that's the flow I want when I'm releasing
Yeah.
a song. And like the other song I was like begging myself to want to release, like just wasn't working. And so finally, you know, Tidal Wave lands in my lap and I sat on it. I wrote it in 2017. So it's been like sitting a while, and that's why it's like really cool to have it out too. Like it's such a beautiful song, and I just didn't feel ready to give it the life it deserved almost.
Yeah. You know, it's so interesting because I feel like, you know, us as songwriters, it's like, when is the right time for this? And when is the right time for yourself to like be vulnerable enough to let it go, you know? And
I think it's a feeling.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like that's a lot of us feel that way. Like it's a feeling like it's just not the right time. It's just not the right time. Or, you know, I mean, I've heard people sit on songs for 10 years, you know?
Because it doesn't feel right or authentic or like, you know, it's crazy. It really is. And it's one of those like dumb cliches of like, when you know type of thing. It's like, it really is that. And sometimes you can't explain it. And the harder side of it too, especially I'm independent fully now, but people who have labels, you know, have these songs that labels are like, you have to, and the artist literally can't think of any other reason other than it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have to like still follow through with that. So I'm just really fortunate that I've been able to wait until I felt 100% sure and ready and was able to give it the life that it deserves.
Yeah, I think that's important though, you know? I feel like it's important for you as the artist to want to have that support with it and feel like you can release it and know that it's given it its due, you know, rather than just put it out and be like, oh man, I should have waited, or this wasn't the right time, or I wasn't feeling it, or whatever it is, you know, whatever that feeling is. But like, I agree that some songs just need that like space. You know,
they do, and they absolutely do, because with my label, that was one of the reasons why I felt the need to end. Was I had a 10-song album out, and I wrote every single one. So obviously I love them, but when I would be performing them on stage, I was just like not connected to them. And I was like, this just makes it feel like this isn't where I'm supposed to be. Like it makes me feel like this isn't right, and I can't think of any other reason why other than it just doesn't feel right, because on paper everything looked so great. And so that was one thing. And same with the country song, I was like, I love this song, and I'm like, even I got like multiple mixes back, multiple tracks back, and I was like, there's just something there's something missing. And maybe it's just not meant to be mine even, you know. Like one day I would love somebody else to sing it and give it the proper life of its own, but I feel like I wouldn't have been able to do that no matter how much I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have a friend that full-on country singer, you know, and she just fits the bill, you know.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And she did the same thing. She just stopped and decided that she didn't want to do it anymore, that it wasn't her, you know. And I just think it's great when you can listen to yourself and, you know, and trust that that's just is what it is. And you know, a lot of people worry about their fans and all of that. And I was just like,
big for me, actually, this release. That's why Tidal Wave was so plain and so simple, because I knew I wanted to try pop and go back, because my first album was full blown pop. I knew my heart was taking me back there, but I was really afraid because I had built such a great country fan base. And you know what? I actually played live like 2 weeks ago, and I did a full blown country set, and I still loved it. Wow. So there's still that part of me. Like that's why it's hard to be an artist sometimes versus just a writer or performer. Because I feel equally a country singer as I do a pop R&B singer, and that's weird for people, and that's okay, but that really is me. And so I've just come to a position of, if I'm just being 100% myself musically, there's going to be people who like it, and there's going to be people who don't like it. And as long as I'm going to sleep happy and knowing I did 100% a me thing, I'm going to like be content and not have this cloud over my head of like, oh, I shouldn't have done that just because, you know, people wouldn't accept it. Like I don't, in the most polite way, don't care, because I know that there's going to be people who do like my country stuff, and that they do like my pop stuff, and that's okay.
Well, and you'll find people for each genre, right? And I don't think people should be, I mean, I understand people want to just be in the country, or be into pop, or be into reggae, or whatever it is you're into. But like, I feel like it's really awesome when the artists can just kind of surprise you and give you, you know, one day is going to be like, there's several artists that are even big, like Ed Sheeran or whatever, that have changed, you know, their sound almost. And I feel like, you know, look at freaking Taylor Swift did it like beautifully, and nobody cared. She still has just as many people, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it's awesome to be able to be mixed, and to be, you know, always giving your audience a guess, you know, and
that's
keep
good
them guessing.
to know. That's actually really good to hear too, because I feel like I get my family's opinion. I'm very like private when it comes to like sharing unreleased music type of stuff. And so it's normally like my really close friends and family, and then normally like a couple people that I have in the industry to bounce off of. But it's really cool to hear it like from a listener / other musician side of like somebody I'm not necessarily like so tight to, because it really is reassuring to hear that, you know, without you knowing so much about me, you know?
I mean, I've been in the industry since I was 19. So like that's exactly 20 years this year. And
oh my gosh, no way. No way.
Yeah, I'm 39.
No, you're not. I literally thought you were 29.
No, I'm 39. I'm old.
Get it, girl. You look great.
Thank you. So like I've been in it for a really long time, and you know, to see the ebb and flow, and to be able to, you know, I respect that you don't pigeon yourself. I think that's so important.
Thank you. Like I really appreciate that.
That's awesome, because it doesn't restrict you, and you have more creativity with everything that you do, which is fantastic.
I feel like it leaves me more open to working with other people too.
Yeah, that too. Exactly.
It's just like I feel very fortunate that I am a people person, so I can, like with Nick, for example, like we can go into a write, and I can write a song for him even though I'm not in his genre, because I can put my stuff aside. I think sometimes you don't always find that in the industry. Like people want their style, their way, and so they're fighting for each other's ways, where I'm like, let's do your way. Let's go. You know, like I'm always in service of the song. Versus like in service of my ego, if you will. Like I don't care about I don't care about my own agenda. I really want a song to be written and honored in the proper way.
Wow. And I think that's how it should be, though. You know, like I think people get so caught up in, that's not my way, and that's not how I see it, or that's not how I hear it, or whatever, you know. And it's like, just let the song be whatever it is it's gonna be. Like,
and there are moments to fight for it, you know, like there's lyrics I'll be like, no, like I know that I need this to be happening in this part, or whatever it may be, or this lyrically needs to happen. But there's other times where and mainly the artist, because my ultimate goal would be like a songwriter position. So if the artist is like,
you and me both.
If the artist is like, I just really don't like it, I can, you know, put myself aside and be like, okay, that's okay, you know, then that's not meant to be. But if there's like no, I for sure know that this is like for this song, I can usually get them like to see where I'm coming from, which is cool.
Well, we're coming up on the end of time, and
I know
we haven't even heard you sing yet.
I know. We can do like one or two songs. I don't even need to do the third.
Let's just do Tidal Wave. Let's just do Tidal Wave.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. Do you want me to go now?
Yeah, let's just sing now. You got people on, so let's do it.
Beautiful. Thank you again for having me. I'm like super pumped. I have my little chord sheet here too.
You're just so much fun. You're just as much fun as the first time I saw you. I'm just like excited about that.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Again, like I love talking about music. This is my passion, and I love people who share the passion too. So that's why we click. I think it's really, again, music's so connecting, and you can really bond with anybody if you just allow it.
For sure. Well, it's as a mutual friend of ours would say, music is the language of everybody. You know?
It is. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually going to see Cam and Sam and
I'm so
Nick
jealous.
On Friday or tomorrow. I'm really
excited. Sam texted me and asked me or messaged me on Instagram about it, and I was like, I'm so I looked into tickets to go.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been fun to meet you. I know, that would have been fun.
I know. And so I was telling Nick on the show last night or on Tuesday night, I was like, I was this close, but I was like, I can't justify $500. I can't.
You can't. You just really can't.
So I should have thought about it like a month ago.
Totally. Can you hear the piano okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I will start.
Can you go live like just once during the thing and so we can see?
They won't let me. There's no flash photography, no video.
That's so sad. Oh. Be okay.
You look like a picture perfect wave of energy. Starting slow, then crashing in me. And all I wanna do is fall into you. You move, and I can't keep my eyes from watching you. Pull me in like tides pull the moon. Your gravity is keeping me close to your heart, close to your lips. I'm wrapped in your arms. If you're in, baby, then I'm in over my head. Drowning in your love, your love. Time away, time away, time away. So go, keep spinning through till I lose control. Filling up the space that's in my soul. You know that I am craving you. Close to my heart, close to my lips. I'm wrapped in your arms. If you're in, baby, then I'm in over my head. Drowning in your love, your love. Time away, time away, time away. Which way is up or down? You got my head spinning round and round, and I don't want to be safe. Time away, close to your heart, close to your lips. I'm wrapped in your arms. If you're in, baby, then I'm in over my head. Drowning in your love, your love. Turn away, turn away, turn away. Turn away, turn away. which way's up or down. You got my head spinning round and around, and I don't want to be saved. Tidal wave.
Yes!
Yeah!
I love it so much.
Thank you.
I love those lyrics so much, man. And I love it acoustic too. Like just
oh yeah,
bare bones. It's such a good man. You're such a good writer.
Oh, thank you. It's my passion. I literally I love writing. And I just want to say hello to Robert, Cass, Zach, Dave and Rhonda, and Shanna. Thank you guys for being on here. But I feel like I've learned this trick, not necessarily a trick, but if a song can't just be on piano or just be on guitar, it usually needs something else. So a melody change, a lyric change. Because I feel like in today's day and age, production is just like such a heavy side of why a song does well. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like it's a great song when it can just be on piano or just be on guitar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I just love I love it when it can be, because it's almost more intimate and you get to hear the lyrics and you get to be more like in tune with it more,
I love that I can play an instrument too, because like there's moments where I'm like, ooh, I want to take it here, and I feel like it, if I was playing to a track, I can't. I'm very stuck. So it's like, I guess it's just a really big fluidity thing. I'm like, I want to do any genre. I want to take the song where it wants to go. But what's funny is I was just singing this and I really do feel like, and not in a bad way, but like blacked out while writing this song. Cause I'm like, I did write this, but I'm like, it's just so crazy. Cause I don't remember all the details. Cause I don't know. I personally am a fan of this song and it's just cool to be a part of it. Is that weird to say?
Yeah, you wrote it. Isn't that
right?
odd?
I'm like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah. I know. So one of the songs that I released, somebody else released it.
Oh, cool.
Because I let another band take my music for a little while. And so I sometimes I forget that like I'll see how people react at their show and stuff, and I'll be like, man, this is a good song. And then I'll be like, all right,
You're like, I know why I like it is because I clearly approved of it while I was writing it. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that I'm not the only one who does that.
Right. I know. I was just like, you know what? This is a good song, and I don't feel weird saying that. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Be proud of it, man. It's great.
I know. So I have so much more songs on deck too. I'm releasing so much. I already have a song coming out in October. I haven't announced it yet, but it's coming out in October.
You should come back.
I would love that. Absolutely.
And then, you can come and sing more songs. We could just do music the next time.
That would be amazing. I'm so down. But yeah, I'm really excited to be able to finally be releasing music. I haven't in 4 years, and it's really cool to be doing it.
Well, I am proud of you, friend.
Thank you.
I just love your music. I love your voice. I love you. You're my new favorite person. So.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet of you to say. Thank you so much. I hope you just stick along for the ride, and
of course.
I hope you just keep loving the songs.
Yeah. We're gonna add you to. I will send you. If anybody doesn't know, we have a Spotify, and it has anybody I've had on the show. I have everybody on there. So you'll get added to that.
Amazing. I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that because I just love you. So
I love you right back. Thank you for having me on here. It's been it flew by really. Clearly we were having fun.
It went by so fast.
I know.
I was like, wait a minute, I haven't even heard her music yet.
I know. I love it. And you get to go hear more, which is so cool. I'm happy that you will get to see a show. So that's going to be so much fun.
Well, have fun at the show tomorrow. I will be there and share it with you because I really wanted to be there.
I will.
I'll
make sure to report. I absolutely will, Kara. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and come back, please.
I will.
Come back anytime.
Okay, I totally will. I'll definitely let you know.
Everybody, please go follow her. If you don't know, I'm gonna put her stuff in the description and stuff. So check her out. Her song Tidal Wave is on everything. It's amazing, and we'll definitely have her back. So I hope everybody had fun that joined. Thank you for coming back onto the second loop.
Yes, of course. I know.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to tell everybody, or
just to stay tuned? Following me on Spotify helps me out so much as an independent artist, so you're notified when songs come out. Apple Music does help too, but Spotify is like so helpful. So it's a free account, you know, if you want to make that. I have a show coming up October 16th. It's in Moore Park, California. So I'll be putting details there, but really just listening to the song and sharing it and liking it and adding it to playlists are all things that just really help me out and continue letting me do what I love to do. So I just appreciate everybody's support and for being on here. And Kara, thank you so much for asking me to do this. It has been such an honor and such a fun time.
I had so much fun. You're so much fun. So
thank you.
I hope you come back, and
I will.
We'll do it all over again and have a party next time.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your night and have so much fun at your show.
Will do. Thank you everybody for coming on. Bye.
Thank you guys.